Hey everybody, Kristen here. As you know, I believe homemade is best, but it doesn't need to be complicated. I love using my Instant Pot to make dried beans and to make soup. It makes the most delicious soups with nuanced, layered flavors in record time, and it cooks dried beans quickly without the need to soak. So today we're gonna combine those two things and we're gonna make a delicious black bean soup using dried black beans. And this soup comes together for pennies per serving and it's absolutely delicious. So let's get cooking. The first thing we're gonna do is hit saute on our Instant Pot. Add in about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil and let that heat. Once your oil has heated, we're gonna add in some aromatics, and today I'm using 1 yellow onion that's been finely chopped, 1 large red bell pepper that's been seeded and chopped, 2 large carrots that have been finely chopped, and 2 small jalapenos that I've seeded, removed the ribs, and finely chopped. You can use more or less to control the spice in the soup. Once the vegetables have softened, add in 3 cloves of minced garlic, 2 teaspoons of smoked or regular paprika, 1 tablespoon of cumin, and just toast that up for about 30 to 60 seconds, just until your nose smells it. We don't want to burn our garlic or spices. We're gonna add in 2 cups of water here, and then you know the drill. Anytime we use the saute function, we want to scrape up all the brown bits on the bottom of the inner pot. That will prevent a burn notice from happening there. It already smells so good in here. That cumin and smoked paprika and garlic and jalapeno onions, building blocks for great flavor here. And you really don't need to take the time to saute all this stuff, but it is going to deepen the flavors and amplify everything, especially toasting up those spices. So just takes a couple extra minutes and it makes a world of difference in the flavor. So we're gonna add in here 4 cups of low sodium chicken stock. You can use vegetable stock if that's what you like. You wanna make sure it's low sodium because we're cooking dried beans and salt can interfere with our beans softening. It's 1 dried bay leaf there, and then I have 1 pound of black beans that I have rinsed and just sorted through. You wanna look for any rocks in your beans. I know that sounds crazy, but you'd be surprised, it can happen. You definitely wanna give them a good rinse to get off any dirt or debris. Give that a stir, that's it. Remember, we're gonna wait to season our soup with salt and after our soup pressure cooks so that our beans soften. Pop our lid on our Instant Pot. Make sure your venting knob is pointed towards sealed. To set the cooking time, we're gonna cook for 30 minutes on high pressure. After the cooking time has elapsed, let pressure release naturally on its own for at least 15 minutes. Super important anytime you're doing a soup or dried beans, anything with a lot of liquid inside your Instant Pot. You don't want it to spew out and possibly burn you out of your venting knob here. You also want to keep the beans intact, and by doing a natural pressure release, that'll allow it to happen. I do that to keep my meat tender too. Open up your Instant Pot here. Smells really, really good. Now you can just dish this up just as it is. It's thick, the beans are perfectly cooked there, or you can transfer a little bit of your mixture here to a food processor or a blender and blend until it's nice and smooth, just to add a little bit of creaminess to your soup. You don't want to do any more than 3 cups. Now, if you were blending up blending the soup in a blender, be sure you take your little vent, like the chute part of your lid, take that off, kind of crack it and put a kitchen towel over your blender. That way the steam won't build up from the hot soup and the lid pop off your blender and you have black bean puree all over your kitchen. That wouldn't be very fun. So I'm gonna puree this up here. Again, that's optional. You totally don't have to puree any of the soup if you don't want. You want to add that back to your Instant Pot. And now we have to finish up our soup here. We want to add in some salt. We haven't salted our soup yet because we were cooking dried beans, and salt can interfere with dried bean softening. So we wait till after it pressure cooks to add salt. I'm gonna add in about a half a teaspoon there of kosher salt. Use more or less to taste. And then to really finish this soup, we're gonna add in the zest of a lime. Actually, 2 limes. That brightness is just gonna add so much fresh flavor to our soup there. Just be sure to zest your lime before you cut it open and juice it, or, I mean, it's next to impossible to get the zest off a cut lime. Then I'm gonna add in the juice there. Good squeeze. If you don't have a lime, you can omit it, but I'm telling you the difference between having a lime and not having a lime is like having a good soup and then having a restaurant quality 5-star soup. That little bit of fresh citric flavor just really pops in your palate and makes all the flavors dance in your mouth. I'm not joking. All right, now it's time to dish this up. You can top your soup with some avocado. You can top it with some minced cilantro, some diced onions, some diced tomatoes, some fresh pico, sour cream even, whatever you like. I'm gonna go in for a bite here. I didn't even swallow the bite yet, and it just popped in my mouth. The lime zest, I'm telling you, makes an insane amount of difference there. It's just fresh and really makes the flavors come to life. This soup is not too spicy at all. I know you were thinking, 2 jalapenos, 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, it's gonna have a little kick to it. With the dried beans, we really needed to add a lot of flavor, and it worked perfectly to do that. Plus, I didn't add the seeds or the ribs of the jalapenos to keep it on the milder side. Even my daughter, who hates spice, enjoys this soup. So good. The beans are creamy, yet still have a little bit of toothsome quality to them, a little bit of bite. It's absolutely perfect. Comes together with really humble ingredients, but I'm telling you, it's simple, effortless to make, absolutely delicious, super affordable, so good. You guys are gonna love it. If you're looking for more recipes using dried beans in your Instant Pot, be sure to catch my next recipe where I share with you how to make Instant Pot red beans and rice. Until next time, happy cooking.